Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. We're live in Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. And as always, thanks for watching on YouTube TV. We're now available with the multi-view option. Thanks for listening on Sirius XM Channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates. We'll get into the playoff action that we have coming up tonight on the board. Around the bottom of the hour, right now we go out to the Progressive guest line as the Meat Man, Steve Wyss, joins the program. He is with the Betting Weekly Studios and Because We Win podcasts. Meat Man, thanks for the time as always and staying up late where you're at. As always, good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you guys as well. Here for a bit longer today, so we're going to get a good chat going on loads of picks and a crazy weekend coming up in the English lower leagues over here in the soccer.
Yeah, can't wait to hear your analysis on that. Let's begin in the Prim coming up. You have Bournemouth taking on Crystal Palace here. Your best bet on this match would be what?
Bournemouth, definitely. I mean, I like the -1 on the Asian Handicapper evens, but you could take the money line around about -150. I've been eyeing this better for quite some time, really, because it's a pure sandwich game for Crystal Palace. They've just played tonight. They've won in the Conference League against Shakhtar Donetsk 3-1. But it's all about the Conference League for Crystal Palace now, nothing else. So I'm fully expect them to rest and rotate players at the weekend. No risk taken with anyone that's close to an injury, things like that. And Bournemouth are a damn good team. I watched them last week against my own side, Leeds. And really, they should have beaten Leeds, but somehow only tied the game 2-2. They've had 10 days rest to prepare for this game, Bournemouth. So they're going to be fully fresh, fully focused. I mentioned them last week. I think they're a good bet to get in the top 6. And for me, I think this is a big win, actually, against Crystal Palace. They're going to dominate the match. I could see if it's been like 3-0. So handicaps, money line, parlays, whatever you want to do with Bournemouth here this weekend, it's my best bet. They're going to beat Crystal Palace.
All right. How about Aston Villa and Tottenham? They got their first win of the year, but West Ham won as well, so they're still in the relegation zone.
This is kind of a good fixture for Spurs, this one, actually, Pauly, because Villa, they've just played tonight in the Europa League. This is a sandwich game for Villa a bit. So I think they could rest and rotate. But difference is Tottenham are away from home and Tottenham just aren't very good. I mean, the big problem they've got is injuries. They've got so many. I mean, I think on ESPN soccer site, they've got more ACL injuries than home wins this season. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's fact. The latest guy to go down is Xavi Simons, who was actually one of the few players playing pretty decent for them. Another striker, Solanke's ruled out. You know, he'd be in the England squad this summer in the World Cup. So I'm thinking a really low-scoring game here. We could even get a 0-0 or 1-0 to either team. I think Tottenham, the only way they're going to get points really to finish the season is to keep clean sheets and be defensively stout and disciplined. So that's going to be their game plan heading to this match. A draw would not be bad for them. I think under 2.5 goals at plus money looks really good value here because Spurs are going to be defensive. Villa are going to be flat offensively. I don't know who's going to score a goal for Tottenham right now, unless it's a set piece. So it's a clear under for me. 0-0 detector might even be slightly beeping.
There we go.
Oh, that's excellent. All right. Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Chelsea $1.40.
Yeah, I mean, who would want to back Chelsea, right? They've just lost 5 straight Premier League games in a row, but I'm going to back them at -140 because these guys, they play when they want to, these players, they sacked their manager and immediately got a win against Leeds in the FA Cup at the weekend. They were much, much better. And I think these players are a bit of a disgrace, actually. And there's certain sports clubs around the world who are like this. The players kind of dominate player power, and they just turn up when they want to do. And I think they wanted the manager sacked. They put in a better performance against Leeds, and I think they're going to put in a really good performance here against Forest. Chelsea can't. They've got to end this terrible run of 5 defeats in a row in the Prem. They're still battling to finish as high as they can in that competition. And I think with this change of manager, they're a good team to be betting on. Forest are in a sandwich as well. They've just faced Villa in the Europa League. And I think they've got a little bit of a cushion from the relegation spot, so they can afford to rest and rotate players this weekend, take it a bit easier before the focus on the second leg tie next week against Villa in Europe. So I just think we're going to get a Chelsea reaction at home. And these players just turn it on. It's like a tap for Chelsea players. They turn it on when they want to, and they turn it off when they want to as well. They're going to turn it on this weekend. So for me, money line minus 140.
Meat man, where would you rank Chelsea in terms of most disappointing teams this year in the Prem?
They'd definitely be up there, but when you think about it, they've won the Club World Cup last summer, which is pretty good. They could still win the FA Cup, and they could still qualify technically for the Champions League. So it could still end pretty good for them. It's all on these last 4 or 5 games now, and I think the players are going to be focused now. But until now, yeah, they've been disappointing. They'd rank in the top 5 or 6 for most disappointing teams, yes.
Okay. How about you've been all over Man U totals, and you got another one on Monday that cashed. How about the over with Man U and Liverpool, the big one Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest fixtures in the Premier League, but no one's really talking about it because of all the other stories going on. I mean, these two sides are going to qualify for the Champions League. Man United should finish 3rd, Liverpool probably 4th or 5th. But it's been a bit of an underwhelming season for both of them. But I think we're going to get fireworks here because I keep saying it every week, Man United, the best team to watch as a neutral. So attack-minded. They give up chances, but they've got goals in them. And Liverpool are in this sort of, the pressure's kind of off them. You know, they know where they're going to finish now. They're going to qualify for the Champions League. We're going to get a gunfight, a proper boxing brawl, end-to-end sort of game. Could get something stupid here, like a 3-2 win for either team. Both hate each other. Both are going to fight really hard. But ultimately, the best players for each team are in the offensive areas. So based on that, we should get a high-scoring bonanza. I don't trust either defence. So it's a clear over for me, and it's a high line, 3.5, but we're getting plus money on this. I think rather than messing around with Asian goal lines for this game, just go straight over 3.5 goals at plus 110.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to your podcast tomorrow. Saturday is the final day of the season for the lower leagues. That's the English League Championship, League One and League Two. And the Championship's a good league, and it's find out who gets promoted to the Premier League, and can Wrexham do it 4 years in a row. The scenarios are crazy in all these. I think they did a bad job here, for at least for America, where Paramount has the rights to this, but all the matches are at 4:30 in the morning on Saturday. But first, let's start with promotion. Coventry's already up, so the top 2 teams get promoted. 3, 4, 5, 6, then battle it out for the playoffs. This is a hound's breakfast. Take it away with some things you're looking at here, and the easy one is Ipswich Town goes up if they win.
Ipswich have already had a chance to get promoted if they'd beaten Southampton in midweek and they didn't do it. But now all they've got to do is beat QPR, which, I mean, Nigel Seeley's a big fan of QPR, and he was telling me the other day that he thinks QPR will roll over for them. But
okay,
let's wait and see. Ipswich probably will win, but that leaves the door open for Millwall and Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough play Wrexham, and Wrexham have got their own storyline coming up here. For what it's worth, I think Ipswich and Millwall will win, and I think Middlesbrough-Wrexham is a toss-up. I can't call that one. Wrexham, Hull and Derby in the mixer for the playoffs. Now, Hull have been so bad with their form, I can't back Hull. Derby could be the sneaky team,
Yes.
The pressure's off them. There's 2 teams above them on 70 points. They've got the easiest match. Sheffield United at home. Sheffield United are on the beach, 15th in the table, nothing to play for whatsoever. I'm amazed Derby are so big, actually, to beat them. For me, that would be the best bet in the Championship this weekend. I think Derby get the win, and there's hope that Wrexham and Hull above them slip up, which could happen. Derby are 20 to 1 to be promoted, by the way. I don't think they'll get promoted, even if they make the playoffs, but you could do worse than Derby.
Yeah.
Because they've found a bit of form recently. Yeah, and I think they definitely get the win for me this weekend anyway. And then, the Wrexham-Middlesbrough game, that's the hardest match to predict. It really all depends maybe how Ipswich are doing. If Ipswich are losing, Middlesbrough are going to really be confident they can get a win. So it's all kind of a lot to play for. For me, the team that wins the playoffs is going to be Southampton, though. They're the one side. They're locked in. They know they're going to be resting players this weekend. They finished the season in great form, and I think they will win the playoffs myself. How
does this work? Because we see this in America with the NFL. But I said, the Wrexham manager they're going to be feeding results in his ear in real time about what's going on in the other matches. If there's something to do in play as well, because this very well could come down to goal differential, and you might have to score late.
Yeah. Well, Wrexham and Hull have 1 goal difference between them. If both are winning, say 3-0, it might not be enough.
Right.
You might have to win 4 or 5 potentially. So, but also, the ties come into play. I don't think it will, because I think Derby will win. So I think Hull and Wrexham are going to have to win their matches.
I think you're
and
right.
In those sort of games, you can expect goals to come in as well. People will be looking to bet in on over 2.5 goals, stuff like that. Wrexham, Middlesbrough especially. Just say Ipswich are losing, then that could become a really combustible affair. So it's crazy. All the matches kick off at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's very exciting. I mean, I don't know why they're kicking off so early, Paulie. It's stupid, I think. But it is what it is. And I think, there's going to be a lot of drama on the final day here. And there's a lot of millions at stake as well. Let's remember, getting up to the Premier League's worth well over, probably on the door of $200 million now. So
absolutely
serious pressure at the top end of the table.
Yeah. And you have the nice streaming package with Paramount. I don't know why you'd start so early. And you got League One and League Two then playing at the same time at 7 in the morning, Pacific. So best bet from that day in that league is Derby to beat Sheffield United. Yeah, $1.25. And relegation's already been decided there. We know the 3 teams that are going down there, so that's already decided.
Are you cool to hang out for another segment?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sticking around
because I want to get into the Champions League next week, which is going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are on the board right now, and I want your reaction to what you watched this previous week. Some have said the Bayern Munich PSG match was maybe one of the best they've ever seen. It was 5-4 off the charts. We'll get Steve Wyss's thoughts on those 2 matches coming up here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I will continue here. Soccer, as Steve Wyss is on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him at Meatman Soccer on X. He's with the Because We Win podcast and Betting Weekly Studios. First of all, I don't think you're going to be on the show next week, the match could be over with by next Tuesday. So when Champions League will play out again. But that match on Tuesday, when it was 5-4 PSG over Bayern Munich. Now, this place was not exactly, I wouldn't call it the Super Bowl, but it had a very good crowd for a midweek soccer match here, and it was going absolutely crazy. Why would it not be with that many goals? As someone who just loves this game overall in the sport, what was that level of play, in your opinion, that we saw on that game?
That level of offensive play was 11 out of 10. That's how good it was. I mean, it's the game of the year. If we get a better game in soccer this year, then we're getting something unbelievably spectacular. And, I was talking to you off air there. I think when the best defensive players are on the field now in the soccer world, we're always going to get goals because the defenders are just not as good anymore as they were 20 years ago. And the rules don't help them, really. It's a lot softer with stuff these days. You get a lot more penalties given and things like that. But, I mean, what a crazy game. Imagine if you betted on the unders in that match. You'd be doing your brains, wouldn't you? But we had a in-play goal line of 10.5, which is unheard of in the soccer world. I think for what it's worth, the next match, get on the goals ladder again. 3.5, 4.5, maybe 5.5, because nothing's going to change. Yeah, and I think the other match, Arsenal, Atletico, get on the unders in that one. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it going next week. Much of the same in both ties, really. I think ultimately we might just get, PSG against Arsenal final, but it's a toss-up.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm going to try to find some props up for this overall for the goals to get scored. But you would actually climb the ladder and think it could be like a 3-3 match yet again?
Yeah, why not? Because the way that both teams played, the managers after in the interviews said that they're not that concerned about the defending because they're happy to sort of go in this boxing brawl and go punch for punch, shot for shot, goal for goal. And if we get early goals in the first half, the other team's always going to have to react, stuff like that. There's no away goals rule anymore, I think, which helps overs. And it's one of those, if you would almost regret it maybe if you didn't go on the goals ladder just in case it goes stupid again.
Absolutely. So over 6.5 was plus 950. Good call there. Okay, League One. We know the top teams, two of the top teams already going up, Lincoln City and Cardiff City. 3, 4, 5, 6 make the playoffs. You're still alive with your Luton Town 20-1 ticket. You need a win and some help. But even Plymouth at 8 has got a shot on goal differential if they win, and there's a slippage and a slip up there as well. There's also a relegation battle. How do you see League One playing out Saturday?
Well, do you know what? I'm still really hopeful about Luton Town, and you can bet on them at 10-1 to be promoted. That's still not a bad bet. Get on the train if you're not on it already, because if Luton get in the playoffs, they're going to win them. But they do need some help. I think they'll beat Bolton, because Bolton, they're already confirmed in the playoffs, and they might just be not as motivated. They might rest some players. Mm-hmm. Stevenage, a lot of pressure on them. Bradford City, for me, are hanging on by a thread. They look, every time I watch them, they look so tired. And they're facing Exeter. Exeter have to win at the bottom of the table to have any chance of avoiding relegation. And I actually think Exeter are worth a bet at plus 240. Win or go home for them. And Bradford, like I said, they've looked pretty tired. Stockport should get in, but they're not guaranteed either. And, you know, Plymouth are waiting in the wings as well. Plymouth will win their game. I definitely think Plymouth will win their game, but the odds for Plymouth
230
really,
favorite.
really,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, you could get on the handicap there with Plymouth. And Northampton are absolutely terrible, by the way. So Plymouth would probably be a good bet as well. But for value plays here, Exeter on the money line, just they have to win. If you lose your bet, at least you know they're going down with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tie's not good enough for them. Bradford, I think Bradford are sweating. They're the team I could see missing out on the playoffs here at this rate, because they've just been scraping for draws. They think they've done enough. If Luton get in these playoffs, they've got a great chance. They've got such amazing momentum. If they don't get in them, I don't really fancy any of the other four teams. Bolton probably would be the favourites, but it's going to be a really nervous battle. These sides are going to be looking at results as well. Scoreboards, they need to react to goals. You know, these matches kick off a little bit later US time, don't they? So
yeah,
it might be, even for those who are interested in the soccer world over there, a bit more of a sociable hour.
That's crazy how it could be decided with goal differential as well. The bottom 4 teams are relegated in that league. League 2, the bottom 2 teams are relegated. MK Dons, Nigel, he's touting them for 2 years. They win it. If they win Saturday, they win the league. They're 1 point ahead of Bromley, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6 go to the playoff. It's a mess at the bottom with relegation. And I know you gave out Harrogate Town in August before the season started. Take us through League 2, meat man.
Yeah, I've got 2 tickets here. I gave MK Dons to win the league pre-season and Harrogate to be relegated. And do you know, I have hedged a little bit on MK Dons. I will admit that, because I wouldn't want them to let me down now. At the bottom of the table, I think Harrogate might survive, you know, because I think Barrow are probably done. They're not completely done yet, but they look dead and buried. Crawley, for me, are the team here, plus 137. Because it's amazing that the teams at the bottom are facing the teams that need to be promoted or make the playoffs. Yeah, Salford are facing Crawley, for example. Tranmere are facing Grimsby, I do believe. Chesterfield face Swindon in a straight shootout for 7th and 8th. Whoever wins that's an ABBA game, as I call it. Winner takes it all. Chesterfield against Swindon. I don't know who's going to win that game. And then Salford, Cambridge, and Notts County could still get 3rd. Cambridge probably will win, but I wouldn't want to back up at minus 175 against Crewe. And Notts County, I mean, the thing is, if Salford and Cambridge United are winning, Notts County will probably give up hope. And they are facing our favourite team here, Bristol Rovers, guys.
That's right.
Bristol Rovers' form is incredible. It's something like 8 wins in a row now, 11 wins in 13. They're plus 400 to beat Notts County. That's got to be, it has to be a bet, because Notts County at half-time might look at the scores and think, we're done here. We might as well take players off and focus on the playoffs. So I see huge value, actually, in Bristol Rovers yet again to get a result here. But my predictions of this, I think Cambridge will get 3rd. I think Salford will be 4th. And I think Crawley will be relegated.
Okay,
strong.
Ooh, that's a good angle too about Notts County. If Yeah, if the other two teams have a nice lead, they just throw in the towel and say, okay, we're in the playoffs, but that's it.
By the way, I found some out
against
goals.
a team that's been winning all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I go back to the Champions League here for a second? Because I found it now. You can. This is at several books here, but let me throw some numbers at you. So this is at FanDuel. This is the PSG Bayern Munich match again. Over under 5.5 goals is plus 285. 6.5 is plus 560. Meat man. They'll let you climb it all the way up to 8.5. So are we going to get 9 goals again in the match? It's 18-1. But I may have found the best bet yet. I'm looking at PSG's team total in the match is 1.5 over minus 113.
1.5 team total for PSG. Is nearly even money.
Yeah.
That seems very generous.
Does that seem like it's almost a little fishy to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those I'm looking at right now because that just seems. I presume the PSG team total goal line would be between 1.5 and 2.5. The thing is, Bayern are the favourites, and I think Bayern are a little bit of a false favourite.
Oh,
not in terms of they shouldn't be the favourites, but they're too short because PSG are the defending champions of this competition, and they can surprise a lot of people. I'm going to look at this because that's a real surprise to me. I must say, Paulie.
I got to tell you, when you were talking about that and saying we're going to get that goals again, and I'm just looking at the team total, I'm like, wait a second here, that feels really low. For example, to go over 2.5, it's 3-1.
Yeah, that's generous. I mean, I think, that's got to be a bet, really, hands down. Simple as that. That might be the better angle. I mean, over 4.5 goals is plus 130, that's crazy for a big game. But I think it goes over 4.5. I really do. I think 4.5 and 5.5 are well in range. Yeah. At half time, you might be cashing that ticket already.
You're not the only one to say that.
It's nuts.
Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of soccer
Don't
people.
miss this game.
Yeah. Good job, buddy.
Yeah. Great stuff. Thank you. Best luck this weekend, Steve.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one. Take care.
Thank you. Looking forward to the pod tomorrow because we win in Nordic Soccer Pod, Meat Man Soccer.
Yep. That's a little. Yeah, that's got some stank to it, I think. It was just 5-4. They were scoring goals for
3-2
fun.
3-2 at the half.
That's right. The total's 4.5 for the match now. 1.5 minus 113. I think that's got to be a bet. The Munich team total is juiced way more than that, obviously, because they're the favorites in the game. So we're going to.
I'm with them too on the other one with the under. It was 1-1. Both goals were penalties.
Yeah. Tonight's playoff action up next. 19-6 straight up, 18-7 ATS in the playoffs since 2021. Find out which game that applies to next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Great breakdown there from Steve Wyss, the Meat Man on soccer this weekend. Now tonight's playoff action as it's set in the NBA and the NHL. So this is the game I was talking about right before the break. You get the Celtics and the 76ers. We've spent a lot of time on this game today. Boston off a playoff loss since 2021. 19-6 straight up, 18-7 ATS. They've also held the opposing team under their team total in 17 out of those 25 games. Tonight, the Sixers team total is 103.5. But I like what you were kicking around with Massaro in the previous hour. You try to handicap games as much as possible, find different angles. It comes down to one thing with Boston.
Yep. And as Barkley said, they're the easiest team to game plan for. You know what they're going to do. But one guy I like under threes is White. We've talked about how bad he's been this season and how bad he's been in the playoffs. I don't know what you get out of Grimes again, who was so good in the last game, offense and defense. He didn't do much in the previous game. The track record isn't good with the Sixers and Embiid bouncing back off a big win. A lean to the Sixers to hang in here, but it's just Boston, so it's what's going in from three and what's happening with the threes. 47% in the 3 wins, 27 in the 2 losses. Maybe there's a case to be made for Paul George again to get at least 16 points as he's been so good with his output going back. He's also been good from 3 in the last 4 games. Look at something there. And probably more minutes for Vucevic and which hurts Keita. But Sixers playing drop coverage, and that leads to more Vucevic bombs away 7 of 22 from 3 in the series. Celtic fans might not be happy with that, but expect more minutes for him again in this one, which could be a negative. But you're right. You go back Game 7, anything can happen. They're going to be a double-digit favorite again. They're a bizarre team.
Same thing, right, with like Detroit and Orlando?
Yeah.
What's that number if you asked the question yesterday? Like
You're saying no Wagner again.
Yeah. Didn't cover last night.
Yeah. Detroit wins. I don't know if let's say win by 5 tomorrow. Are they still laying 9.5, 10 in Game 7? Good luck.
It's going to be very close to that number.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to make it like 7. It's not going to be that big of a comeback. That'd be too, they just don't adjust like that. So
right. It's out of whack. And I saw it today. Orlando's win total was 51.5. This is not a 1 against an 8. They hated the coach. They screwed around all season. Now they're playing for keeps. They finally showed up, and Ben Carroll's been awesome. And even in the last game that they won, he was 4 of 18, and he was awesome last night. So still, you go 4 of 18. Wagner doesn't play the fourth quarter, and they still beat him at home. Mm-hmm. So Detroit, I think, too much, 3.5 in that one. And a lot of people are on the Knicks, but man, this looks too easy. What's going to change here if you're Atlanta? Assuming you don't shoot the lights out. 48-27 New York on the glass in the last game. Brunson was great. How they've changed the role of Cat and more of a facilitator, and with the high post. 10 dimes 2 games ago. 6 dimes last game. Had 3 early in the second quarter. Sat much in the second half in a blowout. Over 3.5 again assists for Cat. And you are right. That Knicks team that has shown up the last 2 games is a team that can win the East. They look fantastic. With so many weapons, if I can just get Bridges going. But if I'm Mike Brown, I give McBride more run because Bridges has just been lost out there.
And, by the way, so if you want to get involved in this game on the Knicks side, I think you better do it very soon. This game is starting. Tip time is at 7 o'clock Eastern on the board. This number's moving. So FanDuel is still showing 2.5. DraftKings just went to 3.5. And here at Circa, they recently moved to 3. And, by the way, they moved the money line from $1.40 to $1.50. So the Knicks are taking money in this game right before the tip. And I, for one, am not surprised by that at all. And I'm going to follow the steam here a little bit. And I was going to bet them at $1.40 on the money line anyway. I missed it by 10 cents, but I'm a steam chaser tonight in this game. I think the Knicks are going to finish them off. This is, again, this should have been probably a 5-game series. The Hawks were fortunate to win both those games. And, by the way, what happened here? Look at the point differential. When the Hawks have won those games, they were each by a point. When New York has won the 3 games, they're by blowouts, basically, right?
Yep.
So they are much the best here in this series. And, I mean, shame on them, quite frankly, if this goes back to New York and they got to play Game 7 at the Garden. Mm-hmm. They got to take care of business.
Well, that's an angle in some of these NBA series and in the NHL. The series should be over. And now you got to win another game. Anaheim blew. How do you think the Utah Mammoth feel?
Not great.
They've blown the last 2, and in Game 1, they were up in the third period on the road.
How do you think that flight was back to Salt Lake last night? Were words uttered at all? Going back home, you just got to hold your head down and say, well, now what are we going to do? They gave away basically the last 2 games.
Yeah. But, again, you said it, though. Killed them in Game 1, blew the 14-point lead in Game 2, made the adjustments. The last 2 games, they buried them. Not to mention maybe fatigue setting in with McCollum as well, as they figured him out, and he's been off. And I haven't had a great moment out of Jalen Johnson yet either. And Kuminga's been hit or miss, too.
Right. So here's the $64,000 question in the other NBA game. How do the Timberwolves beat them? What's the path for Minnesota to actually finish off Denver in this game tonight? Because not only are they missing Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo, but 2 other key players now have been questionable all day long, being Bones Highland and also Ayu Dosunmu, who has been awesome in these games at home.
Yep.
So is it just both those guys play and then Ayu goes crazy again and goes for I'm not going to call out for a 43-point game, but he has 30 tonight? And then they just
Nothing crazy about that. He had 25 and 43 in the 2 home games. He can do it.
So this is where the Timberwolves hit a bunch of threes as well, or just like Denver's defense is so bad that you should have seen it coming from a mile away this year.
Yeah, and it's also what Gobert has done to Joker and how well the defense has played. Again, they were number 1 in the league in points per 100 possessions. Wagner's out game 6 already. 100 possessions, and they'd be 29th with their ranking in this series against Minnesota. So I think it's correlated. I think it's Minnesota and under. And basically, they could win a low-scoring game on how well they've done against the Nuggets.
Okay. By the way, it's official. Highland's going to be playing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go. And he scored, 15 last game?
Yeah, he went over.
You're not going to believe this, but the Opta AI stats at vsin.com.
Not Bridges.
No, they were high on him the other day. They were also high on Reeves last night. They like to buy low.
Well, that's hard when a guy's been out, though, too.
I know.
You're going to expect rust. And
So the top 3 edges, per their numbers at the website, and 4 of the top 6 are all on the same player. And that player tonight is Aaron Gordon. 17-plus points minus 104. They make that number minus 512. They're projecting 21 points from him tonight. That's a plus 32.7 edge. I know.
Can't get there. Not healthy.
I don't disagree.
No.
The PRA, they're very high on. The points and assists. And then the number 6 overall is points in general at 13 plus. The first one that I mentioned should have been points and rebounds if I didn't say that. The number 2 player on the board tonight, which I can absolutely see, is Kelly Oubre. 9-plus points is minus $1.11.
Yeah.
They made the number minus 342. That's a 24.8% edge. And 14-plus points and rebounds minus 106. They made it minus 293. They're projecting 16.25. I know there's a lot of numbers here, but that edge is plus 23%. I could see Oubre having a good game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the guys who can step up.
What happens in the hockey?
I think your team gets it done.
Yeah. They've won a series since 2015. A lot of pressure on them, too. They've been here before.
Hold on a second. I just thought of something. Is it possible that I was born and raised closer to Minneapolis, St. Paul than you were?
I was...
How far is St. Cloud?
60 miles?
60? Okay, I'm about 90 minutes from there, the other way.
Yeah. But the whole thing sucks because it's also the Stars, too.
I'm rooting for you, man. I want this team to get it done. Nothing against Dallas. I think it would be great for the Wild.
Anaheim's feeling the same thing. They blew game 1. Edmonton came back in the 3rd period. But Edmonton has scored first in all 5. Mitch was concerned that the juice went down. Every first period's gone over in this series.
Yeah.
And 13 of the 15 periods have featured at least 2 goals. Quenneville, 12-1. Game 6 clinchers in his career. Goes back to Edmonton, you're not going to win. That's a great game tonight. Take advantage of our Triple Crown special. Get full VSiN Pro access through the Belmont Stakes on June 6th for just $14.99. You'll get the Derby betting guide. Will Samich hit the Super again? He has 3 Supers in the guide. Oaks and Derby previews, race day coverage, and, of course, every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, the AI-powered prop tools, and the 24/7 video on the Watch app. Expires tonight. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get the incredible offer. VSiN.com/subscribe.
In Pocket plays next, including teams that I have bet on for the most wins in baseball for the month of May next year on VSiN.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
It's going to be wild. Game 6 is all over the joint. 6 games tomorrow, 5 tonight. We'll see how many series go 7 in hockey and in the NBA. And how about the timing? Julian Edlow tweeted, NBA road teams in Game 6 of the first round are 13-0 ATS. Since 2015, we have 5 Game 6 road favorites in the next 2 nights. Incredible. Magic plus the points, winner. Raptors plus the points, winner. Flyers, Penguins, second period over, no good. Epic game, 1-0 Flyers. I love the celebration. Just throw the stick into the crowd.
Then you had to come out and say, my God, I hope I didn't hurt anybody.
Fired it up there. This is going to come down to the wire with a lot of these, but Reed Shepherd, most threes in the series. Sengun, most rebounds. Mitchell, most threes. He's still the leader. Man City to win the Prem. Tottenham to stay up. Big one tomorrow in Boston. Boston plus the 1.5 in Boston to win the series. MK Dons to beat Fleetwood Saturday. They win League 2. Nuggets to win the West, 16-1. Magic to win the East, 35-1. Denver, if you want to go back, guys, Denver, 2 units to win the series. I think they win tonight, but that's a lot of points. Lightning to win the series. Utah to win the series. We're on life support there as Utah continues to blow games. What a series Montreal and Tampa Bay's been. 4 games in a row, 3-2. All right, that's the pending. And then the new, Raptors plus 4.5 tomorrow. Rockets money line tomorrow. I think it goes 7. And right back with the Magic. Again, their win total was 51.5 before the season. They're not afraid. They think and believe they're the better team. And no Wagner tomorrow. But it didn't stop them in Game 4 either. So Detroit's got to prove it to me that they can win on the road. And if Orlando wins, they cash that prop 6-1 to win every game at home in the series. Good luck.
Well, you got to keep going with it because you've had an unbelievable feel for that series. All right, recapping last night's action, the Ballesteros props were no good in the Cubs-Padres game. The winner got there with the first period under Penguins-Flyers yet again.
All 6 games. The Flyers didn't score in the first period the whole series.
How would you like to have a little chunk of that no score at all in regulation?
Yeah, 100-1 some spots. Rich in Canada said he saw 200-1.
Yep, the Canadians got there plus 145. It would have been a really nice night in hockey if the Mammoth had gotten there as well. Still kind of amazed that they blew that game. Plus 140 there. That was a loser.
The short-handed goal in overtime on top of the blowing the lead with 50 seconds.
Yep, Pirates most wins in April, no good. But we got there with the Braves to begin the season, 18-1. That is a winning ticket. All right, so other pending and new stuff. So I'm on the Yankees. That was the first bet that I made for the most wins in May. That's at plus 1075 here at Circa. Cat most points is going to be a loser. Cada most rebounds in that series. The Bruins have a pulse to win their series against Buffalo. And Yannick Sinner to win the French Open at plus 150. New stuff tonight. I'm with our guy Weston. Mike Conley over 5.5 points. Minus 115. Now Weston laddered.
The old man.
Because Highland's going to play tonight. Again, IU was questionable. There's no Edwards.
There's a lot of guys on this team that are irrational confidence guys.
1,000%.
Shannon, Bones, Highland.
Nas Reed.
I'm letting it fly, baby.
No doubt about it. So 5.5. Can he hit a couple of threes right away?
Yeah.
He's going to play minutes tonight, I think. So the numbers on Kevin Gossman going into this game, this is incredible. 9 straight opposing starters have stayed under their K prop at Target Field. Opposing starters are 21-9-1 under their K prop against the Twins on the year. Righties are 12-4-1 under. And Kevin Gossman is currently on a 4-0 under run. His recent numbers, his prop was either 5.5 or 6.5, but his Ks in those games were 3, 4, and 5 twice, so I went under 5.5 at even money. Next week, Champions League, talked about this with Meat Man. I found minus 109 on PSG's team total over 1.5. That's an auto play. It's a little fishy, but I had to play it. I'm on the Knicks money line tonight. Officially, that's minus 150 because it did move and I missed it by 10 cents, but I'm still on it.
You're hearing the same thing? Knick fans are taking over the arena?
Got this from Nick on X. He's there. Good seats, by the way.
Yeah.
He said 80% an hour before game, and he said it's about 70% or so right now, all Knicks fans in the building. So $65 to get in the building tonight.
Boy, they're really behind you in Atlanta.
Yeah, they love that
My
team.
ass.
I had to do it again. I know I said, what's up with the line move? Why did it drop 10 cents?
You got to.
But I'm on the Oilers. Ducks first period over at lane 65 cents. And our buddy Chris Belm joined us earlier. If you missed it, you can always go back and listen to the Follow the Money podcast. Great spot with him talking about most wins in May. I'm tailing him on the Rangers at 36-1. And the other team that I have added, the Cleveland Guardians. Now, they are far from a great team at this point. They are 16-16 overall, and they have a -8 differential. Their pitching has been very good. Hitting, they need some help. However, it's all about the schedule. And it goes A's, Royals, Twins, Angels, Reds, and then that's the middle of the month. They play one team this month with a positive run differential. The Reds don't have a positive run differential. The Tigers are the only team that they play in the month of May with a positive run differential, and that's +9. Every other team in the red. So at that number with the Guardians, I'm taking a flyer on them. That's a half a unit along with the Rangers. Rangers 36, Guardians 39-1.
How many Game 7s will we get?
All of them. See, you're fun poison. I'm the exact opposite. Let's go.
All right. We're taking over the world's largest sports book, and you're invited. Join us. Mike Palm, World Cup, NBA Finals, June 13th, 1 to 5. Open bar, all-you-can-eat food. Sign up, vsin.com/beyond the booth.
Let's get an Evan sighting.
Yeah, Evan, yeah.
That'd be a great weekend for him to show up.
Great call. vsin.com/beyond the booth. June 13th here at Circa, 1 to 5. NBA Finals. 3 World Cup matches, day baseball, open bar. Get after it. All you can eat food as well.
It would actually help our chances, I think, potentially, if because he's a Boston guy, if the Celtics were in the NBA Finals.
Right.
Unless he's going to be going to the games.
Cam Young, your first-round leader. Are you surprised? Is it how can this happen? Or surprised it doesn't happen more? Adam Scott hit the wrong ball today. 2-stroke penalty.
The guy that he was playing with, he hit that ball?
Yeah. Are you surprised that doesn't happen more? Or is it, how the hell does that happen?
No, it's how the hell does that happen?
Is it? Yeah. Can guys chime in? Golfers, what do you, yeah. Is that, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, or how the hell does that happen? Scott hit the wrong ball, 2-stroke penalty.
Well, so how often are the balls actually that close together where you're going to make that mistake?
Uh-huh.
That feels to me, well, there's no conversation, by the way. And then how do they determine, that wasn't his ball? Is that somebody's watching and they got the PGA hotline number? Hey, Adam Scott hit a ball. It looked funny to me. Somebody get on the case.
Hey, probably Titleist. Was that a Titleist? I mean, yeah. Probably just knows the ball he uses, and then, I don't know, same brand, that's...
All I know is that the biggest mistake I've ever made my entire life was not golf more.
No.
It makes me mad,
no,
honestly.
RJ Choppy says no.
What?
You'll never improve. Don't bother. Don't bother. It's so frustrating. You'll never
I get all of
good.
that. I understand that. However, it's just great to get out on the course for 4.5 hours with the boys.
Yeah.
And there's something fun, I will say, about getting sucked back in. Hey, man, that shot that I hit on number 6 today, that was a good one, wasn't it? You're still talking about it in the clubhouse afterwards, having a nice drink over it. Yeah, that felt good. That's why I'm coming back next week.
Well, I remember growing up in Minnesota, former Timberwolf player Doug West.
Doug West?
Had a bit of a
Xavier?
Doug West had a bit of a drinking problem. He would drink a Heineken a hole.
Well, join the club.
Oh, my God.
How many other people do you think do that?
Well, come on. That's your big boy, though, too. Humans is a...
Jordan did it on game day.
The
Roenick story? Yes, drink 18. Let's play again. Hey.
Did he have that? No, not
yes,
that many.
Yes, I just listened to the story yet again.
Jordan had that many beers day game?
Roenick's like, I'm hammered. He's got to go play a game. I'm talking trash. And Jordan's like, we're going to win by 20, and I'm going to score 40 tonight. Roenick's like...
He called his
bookie immediately.
He got killed. Jordan torched him. We got to play that tomorrow. And we got to play the Donnie Miller, too. Jordan was getting... I don't think he was drinking that much. He played all the round. He played 2 rounds, I think.
Do you think he was taking it easy? Do you think moderation was in his vocabulary that day?
I got to listen to that. Jordan dropped 40 and he was drinking day of.
Stay tuned. Prime time next. They're going to take you through the entire live betting night that you have. Good luck with the bets. Talk to you tomorrow.